no such thing as ancient Israel.
That's right. They intruders.
Christ Yeshua was born in a cave in Ethiopia.
That's right.
On August the 21st.
That's absolutely right.
0 point. And not in Bethlehem on December the 21st.
It'd be too damn cold.
Every time these demons open their mouths, they are lying and could not explain the order of Christ, which has thousands of levels and trillions of Christ beings in that order, once again, if their lives depended upon it. The ignorant masses are so dumb and frightened about going to hell if they don't believe until they do not even reflect the ability to even think properly. Between the lying and ridiculous Hebrews and Christian priesthood, they do not have the first clue about this creation. They are stealing the ignorant masses' money just like their criminal warmongering government of Western devilization. These Zionist Illuminati-owned banks are lending out money they don't have and having the fools who get these phony loans to pay interest on monies the bank does not possess. It is all a Jewish Illuminati secret society scam that got Gaddafi murdered for attempting to create the United States of Africa and back it financially with Africa's natural resources. Western civilization's money is based upon absolutely nothing but hot air because they don't have any resources. Gaddafi messed up.
What this means is this: the true wealth of the planet is the wealth that comes from the ground. Now I tell you that everything comes from the nothing, which is the hole that's not even there. But the seed was in the ground, it got buried, now it wants to grow. It makes its own hole and pushes its way out of the earth. So from the nothing comes the absolute. It's the principle of all the commodities that we use. Clouds pop up in rain. The cloud wasn't there all day, but it came from the nothing, dropped rain and disappeared. This is our whole principle of existing. These Jews that he's talking about came in with guns, stole all the land, poured concrete and cut down the trees, made the land where it would not sustain you. So now you got to get sustainment from them. So what they do is they give you that fake ass money that has no value in it. And when they give you that money, that paper ass money that can't really do anything except program you to go to work so you can possess that paper money so you could get the commodities back from them that they stole from the whole world. And this is what's going on. The universe is what's raining and making the sun bring life force to the earth and making the duck eggs hatch and making all the eggs hatch and making the women have babies. All that ain't got nothing to do with these white men who has come in with violence and taking control of the earth and keeps generating control of the earth through more and more violence. That's the reason for the concentration camps now and the threat of China and Russia coming here, putting martial law over everybody. It's just the European way of staying in control. That violence right there, perpetuated through hidden policies of politics known as religion, faggot ass Pope, and the Vatican faggots over there with all that bullshit going on up in there with they sodomizing little boys and selling crack, everything. The CIA, Pentagon, the Washington D.C., everything is about these white men that he's saying right now that doesn't have any damn right to be writing all this paper money, giving loans to people, forcing you to pay them to live on the earth that they do not own. This earth is owned by the Son who is here to kill them. The S-U-N Son.
By getting rid of his nuclear program, which is the only thing which would have protected him. No, instead he bowed to the Illuminati-run media in attempting to play the role of the good guy. This is a 10-million-year-old war.
And see, what he said now about that sodomy and all that homosexuality shit, What that stuff does is throw your balance off, and it can disturb your spiritual energies as to where you could be stuck in limbo. And the only thing you'll want to do is make more and more money, and you already got more money than you can spend. But you will be so fascinated by that game, and once they use all that ritual magic around you and all those incantations and all of the blood sacrifices of your fallen comrades and the young Trayvon who just got killed by that faggot Zimmerman, all this stuff that they're doing to produce and to establish a product of this evil all inside of the ethers is what's going on, where they always have these Hollywood men submit to being sodomized and all the old bullshit that they gotta keep going on. They gotta have us African men fucked up in our heads where we're not returning all our spiritual energy to our women. Instead, what are we doing? We're spending all our time working, spending all our time trying to make a way to live for ourselves, or just trying to stay ahead of the sorry ass other black men who want to just do nothing but see you not be the ascended God that you are. All this stuff that's going on is designed to make us have our heart frame so saturated with unnecessary bullshit like homosexuality. You'll be surprised how many men is into that shit and won't ever come out in the minute or do anything about being honest to say, yeah, well, that shit got to me at one time, but I was too strong for it. I moved on. Those are the ones you need to worry about. I'm not saying all the men out there is like that, but what I'm trying to say to you is you better understand that Hollywood is not half-stepping, or these Jews, to create a circumstance on this planet where men can find other men and have these phony-ass relationships with each other that's necessary to disturb the balance and create a template for this evil to always accelerate itself. And that's exactly what it is. If a man is not divine and doing everything he can to make this earth presented to be returned to his woman, who is the true goddess ruler of this planet, if you're doing anything other than that, it's because your ass have gotten attached to a white man vices and you are sidetracked from what your true mission should be about while you're occupying this realm of time and space that we know as earth.
The righteous are defending themselves from these albino reptilian humanoids. So no, never give up your weapons to the media pressure. If people would get up off of their knees with all of that nonsensical religious prayer garbage, one could stimulate the ethers by calling upon the Azarite guards to kick this NATO in its ass even more than it is presently doing with the 25 billion nations. The Azarite guards, we have them behind them as allies. They cannot lose. But people are kept so dumb until they know nothing about the astral.
Now look at them. Look how stupid they are. Dumbass flags, dumbass religious icons, all this shit. And you can see all their little white faces, alright? These are the people who left Europe years and years ago and came to America and murdered all the indigenous people here and set up shop over here. Now you see them back over there in Europe, still the same, ready to go kill somebody in the name of our albinism, okay? In the name of our decaying character, the name of our decaying facial characters. When we know that the original people on this earth is melanated and dark as hell, but we want to sit here with our phony ass society of demons, okay? Because that's all it is. Anytime you know you're the one that's decaying and losing your skin quality, and you want to sit behind a false sense of identity that you're better than someone else that's healthier than you because they're retaining their melanin to keep them in touch with the sun, and you deliberately do nothing but come up with scheme after scheme after scheme to make all these other people die. While you know you're dying yourself, and you're dying because you're killing these other people instead of merging back with them. And you all know that. It's no way you're gonna act like you're gonna be mad at me for pointing out this diagnosis to you, alright? You're not gonna be trying to look like I'm a bad person for trying to tell you that you know you need to be more honest with yourself and stop making all the people on the earth and the animals and the trees and everything have to suffer because you guys got an ego that you would rather stay decaying white than to accept the fact that I need to return to my melanin because I am sick and I can't remain going on like this and creating a world of nothing but war, 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 war for all these other black people on the planet that I know does not have those warring characteristics. And I know if it was not for my race and my nationalism, this world would have more peace on it, because I am aware of who's doing it. I can see all the videos that Assad been making that shows account after account after account of white men putting on backpacks with big ass guns, raiding foreign land, talking about democracy, when we know this country enslaved people for 500 years, came here and murdered all the people of this land, dropped the atomic bomb on Japan, all right, even went to war with herself, North against the South, and then went to war with Britain, okay, that launched you to come here. It's just ridiculous. So don't sit here when I try to tell you all this is because you want to remain in decadence. You want your faces to remain white so you can worship your white Jesus and war, 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 war forever, and have all this promiscuity and drugs and alcohol as long as you could go and give money to the Pope and pray to your white phony ass God for forgiveness. You guys have contaminated the whole earth with that bullshit.
An ethereal world where our brothers and sisters on the higher dimensional levels are destroying the U.S. underground bases all over this planet. However, one has to ask for these individuals to assist us from the higher dimensional levels so they will not be accused of transgressing the free will of another biosphere without being invited by the planetary citizenry. Collective thought is the greatest force in existence. The ignorant religious people hold hands and say puny words to some non-existing being outside of themselves, then destroy the power of these puny and infantile words because they are ignorant to the cosmic and galactic principles. They destroy them by punctuating their statements with "in the name of Jesus Christ," which there is no such person in existence. Western devilization and Eastern thought eliminates the abject of light and wallow in the abject of darkness, as assuming wrongly that humans either evolved from animal origins or were created by some non-existing one and only God on a...
And they gotta give you that shit in order for their ass to stay in control. Look at him, throwing water libations around. All this stuff that they doing right now is all African. All of it is African. You know, it's all African. They done changed. They even got the little hats that we wore and everything. You can see the colors. Everything about them is plagiarized and stolen from us, and they have tarnished it and made this world full of nothing but warmongers and greedy ass church centers that doesn't do anything but exchange money. That's all it's about, is getting money from the unsuspected masses. And then you don't never see them doing any. Where's all the money that the Catholic community dug out of Detroit when Detroit needed the Catholic Church to help those black people in that city pick themselves up and keep jobs and everything? Where were they at? Where are they at with all of the necessary and needed health centers that we don't have, the schools we don't have, the provisions that's necessary for all of our children to grow up with just a mental capacity to be able to address the circumstances that we went through at the hands of these Caucasians, 500 years of slavery, and still the unfair treatment, and then these